Hey guys, how you doing today? This is Andrew with GC Termite Control, and today I want to answer or try to answer a question that is pretty frequent, pretty common, and that is how much does pest control cost? So for that, the answer is really gonna vary. Sometimes, it could be 50 bucks, not $100, $1,000. It really depends on the problem that you're having. Most commonly it's gonna come down to the infestation and the size of it, and how accessible it is. But normally, the problems on houses, they're not that bad. Commercial properties, that's totally a different story. But on houses, it one of the biggest factors is going to be, of course, how bad the infestation is, but also how big the house is. And most houses are usually the same. So let's try to stick with that. So with that being said, we're going to focus more on houses. Now pricing is going to vary depending on if it's going to be a one-time service, a frequent service, like a yearly plan or something like that, and again, the infestation. So if, for example, you have something like a small ant infestation in your property, maybe you just want to get it treated and get it over with, and you don't want a monthly commitment or nothing like that. So something like that might cost you $95, $95 for a one-time treatment. Then again, if you want the peace of mind of knowing that you're always going to be taken care of, you can go into a service plan, which that usually means a technician goes out there maybe every month, or maybe other month, or maybe even quarterly. And for there, the prices will vary. Maybe let's just as an example, average price for San Diego house, it's going to be monthly. Maybe you're running like $65 a house. If you're doing by monthly, maybe it's costing you about $45 a month. Remember, for these plans, you do pay monthly, but even though if you get a monthly service where they come every 2 months, but the issue in there is it's more of a guarantee kinda. So if you get, let's say, spiders or cockroaches or any type of problem in between services, because you're under the service plan, it's covered, and then a technician goes back, you don't get charged extra. The problem just gets taken care of, and all you have to do is pay that monthly fee. Versus, for example, if you do like a quarterly, usually you get some type of a discount as well, but normally you don't have the same guarantee where whatever happens they go back. It's usually just like a quarterly service. Those ones, they usually run about $75 each one, and then from there on, there is some people that like to do either like the semi-annual or the annual services, and those ones, again, usually they run about $95, as long as it's just like a regular pest control service. Once we start getting into a bigger problem where for example, if you have a big cockroach issue, where we have to treat the cabinets, maybe we have to treat the crawl space, we have to do multiple treatments where we have to go like every other week, then that one's gonna vary depending on how big the problem is. But usually you'll be running like $200 to $300, including the a couple of different service stops on your property. Service stops, it's not like we can just go and spray and the problem's gonna be over with. It has to be done, with you doing multiple steps, in order to eradicate the problems. For example, we might start with initial service, treat the property, but then for example, if there's cockroaches, there might be things like there might be some stuff that need to be cleaned, maybe taking out the garbage every day, maybe not eating in the bedrooms or in the affected areas, things of that situation, because the chemical itself, it's not going to do everything. So we treat, then the owner or the tenant, they change whatever's going on in there. They are become a little bit more proactive, and then we go back again and we control the problem even more deeper, because not all problems they're going to be on the surface. Some of them get into the walls and things like that, so it might need a couple of treatments to get rid of. But again, that being said, a multi-step treatment like that, again, a couple $200 to $300 to get taken care of. Other options, if you have rats or rodents, it's also going to depend on the size of your property, but the initial fee, it's really going to depend on how many bait stations, how many traps they have to be set up, again, how big the property is and the problem is. If you have rats, if you have mice, they're all kind of different. Usually, for a small to medium home, expect to pay $200-300 for the initial service, and then you do have to maintain it, which usually costs $50 a month or so, 55, and where we have to go back, change the base stations, make sure there's not dead rats. If there's any, turn them away. Take a look at the traps inside of the house, all that kind of stuff. So that's why we have to go again, depending on the problem, but usually once a month is more than good enough to control problems in houses. And from there on, there's an infinity of problems, but usually, the problems like spiders, a little bit of spiders, a little bit of fleas, a little bit of crickets, they all fall under the general pest control services. They're not usually big issues. Sometimes fleas, we have to treat the inside of the house, so that might be an additional cost. They usually run a couple $100 if we have to do a bigger treatment. Again, depending on the house, it could be more. But yeah, pest control, even though it's not really expensive, it does cost some money to take care of, and more if you're gonna get a good service completed on the property. I know there could be some deals out there, but just make sure that you are getting what you are paying for, and as long as everything's working out, then awesome. But yeah, just make sure that it's working for you. All right, and yeah, I hope that I try to answer the best that I could. The cost factor of pest control. Again, I know I wasn't very specific or anything like that. I just try to give you some rough ideas. Don't quote me to it. Prices do change. Every company's a little bit different. Every situation is different, so the price is always going to vary. But at least you have a rough idea of what you could be expecting to pay. And if somebody's charging, I don't know, $1,000 or something like that for a 1,000 square foot house for rodent control, then maybe you might want to get a second opinion. But then again, you never know how bad the problem is. So yeah, if you have any comments for me or questions, please leave them in the comment box below. If you like this video, please do subscribe to the channel, and if you need any pest control services on your home, give us a call at 619-421-2101 or visit our website at gctermitecontrol.com. All right, I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.